If you're over 65 and thinking about getting a furry friend, choosing the wrong dog could make your life considerably harder, particularly if you're also thinking about downsizing. And surprisingly, the biggest mistake isn't necessarily choosing a dog that's too big. It's choosing a dog for the life you have today, without thinking about the life you might be living 5 or 10 years from now. So, in this video, I'm going to look at some of the dogs that may suit people over 65. But more importantly, I'm going to give you 2 things I'd think about before choosing any dog at this stage of life. Because the best dog isn't necessarily the smallest dog, it's the dog that fits where your life is actually heading. Now here's the part that people don't really talk about. Dogs are wonderful companions, and as well as companionship, can offer you a real sense of security. Most of them, for example, make for a terrific doorbell. They also encourage physical activity and social interaction. Taking a dog for a regular walk gets you out of the house and can often lead to conversations with neighbours and other dog owners. A dog will become a much loved member of your family and can create another connection with your children or indeed your grandchildren. And retirement can actually be a lovely time to have one. You potentially got more time at home, you can enjoy a regular walk, and there's something quite nice about having a dog waiting for you when you get home, or sitting at your feet whilst reading the newspaper. A faithful friend is such a true statement. But here's a conversation families don't always have. What happens if something changes? Perhaps you're 65 now and walking several kilometres every morning. That's wonderful. But if you're choosing a puppy, you're making a decision that could affect your life for many years. The average lifespan of a dog is 10 to 13 years. So you're making quite a commitment. So, things to think about. What happens if you eventually move from the large family home into a townhouse or a unit? What happens if there's no longer a big backyard? What happens if driving becomes more difficult and the dog groomer or the vet isn't nearby? And what happens if you needed to go into hospital? Now, none of that means you shouldn't have a dog. It just means it's worth thinking about before you've fallen in love with one. And here's takeaway number 1. Don't choose on size alone. One of the biggest assumptions is, I'm getting older and maybe a little slower, therefore I probably need a small dog. Not necessarily. Dogs Australia points out that the size of a dog doesn't automatically determine how much exercise it actually requires. Some larger breeds can actually have quite modest exercise requirements, while some little dogs can be extremely energetic. Their website, dogsaustralia.org.au, I have put their link in the comments section below, discusses exercise requirement by breed, rather than simply size. And incidentally, this is an excellent website to help you choose the right dog for you, with heaps of great advice about choosing a dog that will suit your lifestyle and your environment. So, I will look at things such as, how much exercise does this particular dog need? Can I comfortably manage it on a lead? Does it jump? Does it bark a lot? Does it need frequent grooming? Can I lift it if I ever need to? Is it comfortable being left alone occasionally? And what is its actual temperament? And that's why I wouldn't say there is one best breed for everybody over 65. But there are certainly some types of dogs well worth investigating. Some dogs worth considering. Now, small companion breeds can be a very good starting point. Dogs such as a Maltese, a Bichon Frise, a toy or a miniature poodle may suit someone wanting a smaller companion dog. But please remember, small doesn't necessarily mean maintenance free. Some of these dogs require regular grooming, and that means either doing it yourself or budgeting for a groomer. And then there's one dog people sometimes don't expect me to mention, a Greyhound. Now, of course, they're obviously much larger, but size and exercise requirements aren't the same thing, which is why it's worth looking beyond appearances. Greyhounds, despite being racing dogs, are actually calm, quiet and relaxed around the home. They are very placid and affectionate and adapt really well to a slower lifestyle. That doesn't mean a Greyhound will suit everyone. You need to have to consider whether you can comfortably manage a larger dog and the individual dog's background and temperament. RSPCA Australia also notes that former racing greyhounds can actually vary in how easily they adjust to living as pets. For more information about greyhounds, check out the Greyhound Adoption Programme website. I've put the link to it in the comments section below. All of the greyhounds that they offer for adoption have been tested for temperament. And here's another option I think is really worth giving serious consideration to. Get an adult dog rather than a puppy. Why? With an older dog, you will have a much clearer idea of its personality, its energy levels, and its behaviour. You also don't have to go to the trouble of training, sit, stay, lie down, etc. And importantly, don't forget house training. Now that can make matching the dog to your lifestyle much easier than trying to predict what a puppy will eventually become. petrescue.com.au, I've put a link to their website in the comments section below, specifically highlights this advantage when adopting older dogs. And for someone in their 60s, that may actually be far more important than having a particular breed. And if this conversation is happening because you're also starting to think about moving to something smaller, I've got a free Finding Your Right Size Home Guide. It's in the links below. It helps you think through what your next home actually needs to provide for the life you want to live. Now, there's another part of this decision that's probably even more important. And this is takeaway 2. Have a conversation with your family. This can sometimes be uncomfortable. Before taking a dog home, I'd sit down with the people closest to you and ask, if something happened and I couldn't care for my dog temporarily, or even permanently, what would happen? Now, don't assume your children would automatically take home your dog. They may absolutely love it, but perhaps they already have pets. Perhaps their garden isn't secure. Perhaps their work means they're away all day. Or perhaps their home simply isn't suitable. It's so much better to have that conversation now than have somebody forced to make a rush decision later. And I also would consider, if I move, does the type of home I'm considering suit my dog? Are there secure fences? Is there somewhere nearby to walk? Could I manage without a large garden? Could my dog cope with a smaller home? And if you're considering a retirement village living in the future, check the pet arrangements at the village before you make any decisions. Please don't assume that because you have a dog, every future housing option will work exactly the same way. So, what are the best dogs for seniors over 65? I actually think that's slightly the wrong question. The better question is, What dog best suits the life I'm planning to live? For one person, that could be a Maltese. For somebody else, a miniature poodle. For someone else, perhaps an older rescue dog with a known temperament. And surprisingly, for the right person, it might even be a greyhound. Age alone doesn't make that decision for you. Your mobility, housing plans, finances, family support and lifestyle really do. And that's really what this whole series about downsizing comes back to. It isn't simply about getting rid of a bigger house. It's about deliberately creating a lifestyle that's going to work for you in the years ahead. And if you're starting to think about what that next stage of life might look like, watch my video on downsizing for retirement next. Because I go through some of the bigger questions worth thinking about before you make the decision to move. I'll put that video on the screen now, and I'll see you there.